Hi, how are you? It's Traviseen here, and welcome back to our adventures in Azeroth. Last episode, we went to New Hearthland and we retrieved the Journal of High General Abendis. And today we're going to read that journal and see what's going on with the Scarlet Onslaught. And we are also going to do a little bit of fishing while we read that. So, let's open up this journal. The Diary of High General Abendis. The voice whispered, "Come to me." From the very beginning I knew that it was the Holy Light speaking to me in my dreams. At last, after all of my years of prayers and good deeds, the cleansing of the blight of the unliving from the face of Azeroth, after all the failures and resurrections, finally. It happened. Come to me, the light commanded. I woke up freezing, but it wasn't cold in my chambers. I'm going to redouble my efforts. I'll tell the High Abbot tomorrow that I want prayers increased. No more half measures. The Holy Light has taken notice of our good work. I can feel it. This time I was awake. It was very vivid, and yet for over a minute, in the middle of the warm, sunny day, my breath came out misted and chill. One of the priests noticed and dropped to his knees in prayer. No one else heard the voice, though. At least the witness proves that I'm not going insane. Maybe I should ask Landgren to pray on the matter. I'll get Jordan and Street to scrutinize their recruiting efforts tomorrow. We've grown bloated with ranks of unbelievers who yearn only to destroy the undead. That's not enough. The commander and the bishop were both receptive. Not that they had any choice. Bishop Street, in particular, seemed very enthusiastic. He spoke of a revival for the crusade and swore to ferret out the weak of faith within our ranks. I told him to go easy. I've no intention of destroying the crusade. However, I do like the sound of forming an elite cadre of the most faithful to do the light's bidding in Northrend. I fear the man's friendship with Alphonse is slowly twisting him. They both have their uses, though. I will leave most of the crusade here to continue mopping up operations on the undead. In our backyard, I imagine that once they have finished what we began, most will disband and go back to their homes to live in peace. That somehow seems right. At our finest, we have always been the salt of the earth, rising up to take back our homes from the filth of the Scourge's corruption, to return to Lordaeron, to its former glory, to a time before the Scourge, before Arthas, and Regicide before the Lich King. Which means, they kind of have somewhat of the same goals as, the Horde and the Alliance and the Argent Crusade. It's just, they just don't believe the undead are good, and they believe that they're a part of the Scourge, pretty much. It's kind of what I get from this. There have been whispers amongst the men about a day soon to come that will change everything. For the Scarlet Crusade, Bishop Street has put a name to it, calling it the Crimson Dawn. I will put some thought to this, though. I can feel the truth of it in my bones. I pray that it will bring weal for us rather than woe. Another thing this makes me think of, why the heck would the Forsaken or the Horde put a base near New Hearthland? Why don't they just let the Crusade do their own thing and fight against the Scourge instead of, having the undead fight against the Scarlet Crusade? It's a waste of resources, in my opinion. But I guess the undead just hate the Scarlet Crusade with a passion. The light has spoken again with a great deal of urgency. I came away from the dream with a sense of impatience. I will not disappoint. There must be no more delays. We must soon be underway. What a great coincidence, then. And I had to control myself from showing my relief. This afternoon, Captain Shelley procured for us a number of new ships for the voyage. Perhaps it was no coincidence at all. The Holy Light expresses its will in ways that we are not meant to understand. I will take the Sinner's Folly as my flag. I think the name is most fitting. Now I know why the light has been pushing me to be underway. In the dead of night, the Scourge Necropolis appeared in the sky over and out toward the minions of hell. A new breed of Death Knight leads the assault. Already the casualties we've suffered have been catastrophic. With the Scourge able to strike at us anywhere and at will from above, there seems to be no way to mount a proper defense. I fear that our intended expedition to Northrend is over before it has begun. I've been informed that Hearthglen and the surrounding area have already begun to assemble a host. High Commander Galvar Pureblood himself intends to lead them to save us. His efforts will be for naught. I must see to it that my best couriers get through the enemy lines and warn him off. Hearthglen must prepare to dig in and rally the rest of the crusade. With any luck, he'll get through before nightfall. There's been no word from any of my couriers this morning. It's clear that none of them made it through to Hearthglen. The Plaguelands are lost. Pureblood will come with his forces, and they'll be annihilated out in the open. This afternoon I received a vision from the light. In it, I saw the utter destruction of everything that we've built here. The message was clear. I was being told to take the remainder of the most faithful and abandon the crusade to their doom. Well, that vision was true, because we literally obliterated all their leaders by ourselves. Landgren later told me that he'd received the same vision. I cannot comprehend how the light would tell us to take such a dishonorable action, but it is not my place to question. I am to obey, and obey I shall. It was with trepidation that I gazed upon New Avalon. I suspect, for the last time, our fate lies in Northrend. I am filled with a sense of ominous foreboding. For some reason, the mission ahead should shake away these concerns. I will put them out of my mind. So I guess this was probably written when they were in the Eastern Kingdoms, or Eastern Plaguelands, and then they were being, chased out. The thing is, this is New Hearthglen, it's not New Avalon, but I guess he eventually names it New Hearthglen. Perhaps with luck, High Commander Pureblood will somehow endure and marshal the survivors. I'm a coward, a dog running away with my tail tucked between my legs. 2 months, they tell me that this journey is going to take. The other ships aren't built for speed like the Folly. They're carrying most of our forces and equipment, and they're not much more than single-sail freighters, but they'll get there safely. I'm not looking forward to this, but for the light I will endure the seasickness. I simply mustn't let the others see. I've not ridden in a while. It's as much as I can do to stand upright and not get sick. The men are beginning to wonder why I keep myself holed up in my cabin most of the time. It wouldn't be good for morale for them to see me this way. It shouldn't be long now. I pray that it won't be 6 weeks already, and every day it seems that the weather gets worse. I can only hope that Northrend itself does not have such horrible weather. I wasn't built for the cold. The Holy Light has been silent for a very long time. We were attacked with no warning whatsoever. Giants in massive oared longships came out of the mist like ghosts, so the Vicruel. They were silent as the dead. I lost the ship and all of the men on it. We fought with great courage and skill, considering that we have the most rudimentary naval combat training. Afterward, the screams of our men who'd been taken captive by the giants echoed across the water. After a while, it grew silent again. Bishop Street led the men in prayer. I awoke this morning in the middle of making adjustments to my maps. The light was guiding my hand, showing me exactly where we must go. We are close. Landfall. Exiting the rowboat upon the beach, I planted our banner, and was overcome by the holy light which spoke through me today. It's the Crimson Dawn, the great day that we've waited for. This is to be the site of New Hearthglen. We are no longer the Scarlet Crusade. We are now the Scarlet Onslaught. And an onslaught upon Northrend we shall be. The cancer of the scourge threatens to overflow in the crown of the world and drown the rest of us. The time has come to take the fight directly to the Lich King's doorstep. This is pretty much exactly what the Horde and the Alliance are doing. It's been almost a month now, and construction has proceeded apace. I've been too busy to write. My scouts tell me that this land is full of dragons and other strange beasts. We'll keep to ourselves until we're ready. In the middle of service today, the High Abbot proclaimed that a visitor would arrive soon, one that the light was sending to lead us to victory. I don't know how I feel about that. Why don't the light tell me? Have I not served faithfully? Now I'm to be replaced by some outsider? Admiral Barian Westwind showed up on my doorstep tonight. By all accounts, he died upon these shores an age ago. He didn't look old enough, and yet I knew that it was him. He claimed that he was the only survivor of his doomed fleet, and that he survived only through the good graces of the light. We stayed up speaking through the night, and into the morning he assured me that he had no intention of taking my place, but that the light had instructed him to travel across the great Dragonblight to serve as my advisor and commander in title only. He claimed that the great change was coming into Northrend. The Alliance and the Horde were going to come en masse in response to a great plague that the Lich King was about to unleash upon them. The men have taken to the Grand Admiral with great zeal, especially High Abbot Landgren and Bishop Street. Apparently the Holy Light whispered a new blessing to the Admiral in his sleep, which he passed on to Landgren. Some of the men have converted to the priesthood and are now being called Raven Priests. Only Jordan seems unimpressed. I suppose that's understandable. He probably feels his position is threatened, if mine is. Something doesn't seem right. I can't put my finger on it, but I cannot make myself fully trust the Admiral. He's done nothing wrong, quite the contrary, and yet I have to trust my gut. I will pray for understanding. The light delivered the Admiral to lead us to victory, and it is not my place to question its decisions. I will continue to obey. I am faithful. Another couple of months have passed, and we've made great success in the construction of New Hearthline. The wall is almost complete, as the barracks Alaki's men are miracle workers. My heart hasn't been into writing. I've been avoiding putting my thoughts here for some reason. The light hasn't visited me of late, though the Admiral assures me that there is nothing to worry about. My men report that a small group of Forsaken have broken ground on a camp along the hillside to the north on the other side of the hill. The Alliance have apparently begun the construction of a much larger base. The Admiral says we should leave them be. There are other Horde forces gathered to the west that would surely come to their aid if we were to attack. I don't feel good about it, but I see the logic in his reasoning. The first phase of construction is done. Admiral Westwind has ordered a group of my men to establish a toehold further to the north. He wouldn't go into detail, claiming that he was being guided to do so. We caught 4 spies from the Forsaken town, Venomspite, this afternoon. I'm going to have Alphonse torture them for information. If we only caught 4, how many more have slipped in among us? Why do I feel as if things are beginning to unravel? And he was right. Yeah, that's pretty much when everything went south. And it looks like we got our fishing up to 390, so that's good. And now we'll head back to Venomspite and turn this quest in. Well, that was an interesting story. I think the Admiral was wrong. They should have taken out Venomspite as fast as they could. I highly doubt the Forsaken would have gotten any help from the Orcs. Like Conqueror Krenna and all them, they got their own problems here. With the Alliance and also with the Trappers in that area. So I think this place, they could have taken this easily. But I think it's silly. Like, and I honestly think the Horde would have just avoided. Like, they're kind of just a nuisance to Scarlet Crusade. You know what I mean? They're not that strong right now. It would have been cool if they let them kind of rebuild, and then I don't think it could have turned into a Scarlet, Onslaught expansion. But it could have been at least, like, a patch of content. Maybe they could have had, like, a Scarlet Onslaught raid. That'd be kind of cool.
That better be good.
I think it would have been cooler than Nax. Like, Nax again? I think having the first raid be, the return of the Scarlet Crusade, and they've camped. Let's say they came to Northrend before everybody else, and they've established themselves, and now the Horde and the Alliance have to defeat them to get a foothold in the region. I think that would have been a cool storyline instead of just, like, doing Nax Ramus all over again.
Beware the living.
It's about time, Travis. What's been keeping you? Damn it all. Why couldn't you have come to me with good news?
Trust
The Might of Dragonblade. There we go. You have completed 130 quests here.
Hello, Dark Lady.
Their attack is imminent, Mage. I need you to get in there and sever the head of the Scarlet Onslaught, literally. It's not going to be easy. Abendis is sure to be surrounded by a great many of her men. I suggest that you take at least a couple of friends along. Bring back her head, and I'll see to it that you're properly rewarded for saving Venom's Spite. Fail, and don't even bother to return. Okay, well, guys, we can't kill her. She's so strong. And it would have been cool if she was like a final raid boss. They could have done so much more with the Scarlet Crusade. They're just a nuisance, and like they're not a big deal. Cause I guess Scarlet Monastery is pretty cool, like set of dungeons, but they could have done so much more with them, I think. But I guess they just decided to, I don't know, avoid it, and then just let it, eventually die out. Like I don't think there's really much more Scarlet Onslaught or Scarlet Crusade after Wrath of the Lich King. It's pretty much over. Yeah, I don't know what to do, guys. Like, I can go over here, we can go look at her if you want, but we will most likely get wrecked. I guess since we just read her diary, the least we can do is, at least go visit, and if we get wrecked, we get wrecked. We're most likely gonna get wrecked. My rogue got completely obliterated. She's really strong against melee classes, though. I think if you're a hunter, you could probably pull it off, but my mage won't be able to do it. No chance. But we'll check it out. So we got a couple here. There's the Raven Priest. Bendis kind of lost control, too. I kind of wonder who that other admiral is that she kind of, gave control to or put her faith in. Made a bad call by allowing the undead to just, establish a base right in front of them, and then eventually get into their ranks and pretty much annihilate them from the inside out. And and I think it's honestly the coolest quest chain in Dragonblight. It's my favorite one. The dragon one's pretty cool. Wormwood Temple's also, I thought that was pretty good as well. Oh, look at all of them here. Having conversations. Oh, oh yeah, we don't have polymorph. Relax. Get back in here. Where's polymorph? We gotta get it back on our bars. I put it up for instead of our fishing. I'll make a mana gem here. Put it right here, I guess. It's got 3 charges. I'll put it here. And kill Polly here, and then...
You may want to rethink your actions, fool!
Oh, there she is. But I don't know, we'll try. Gotta get rid of all of her forces first. I'm kind of running out of manas here. I'm gonna go buy more when we go back. Venom Spite. Yeah, we're pretty much done with Dragonblight, guys. Pretty much all we have now is just elite quests that we can't really do. We can't do solo. Yeah, you can see 96k health. She also has like a right-hand man there, I think, from what I remember. See if we can just AoE these down.
Deal with them quickly! I don't have time for this!
Let's try to get these priests down. I'll OS them here. OS again. Kind of wish she was like a caster. It would be so easy to deal with this elite as a caster in this room. There's so many like pillars you can LOS around. But she's not a caster. Bad clams. If we can learn that. Okay, we got a bad clams recipe. I think there's another one here. See how this goes. But hey, maybe we can just AoE. We gotta start with a Frostbolt, I think. Right? See how this goes. Probably have some food as well. But it's going to be like the worm, you know, she's going to hit really hard. It's going to be tough for us to deal with. Go with Pyroblast, it's going to be really fast. We'll try Pyroblast. Look how fast she is. Doesn't even affect her. Can't do anything to her. It's ridiculous. Can't slow her, can't Nova. Can't do nothing to her, she's just too strong. Okay, time for us to invis and get out of here. Bye-bye. We're not dying. She's really strong. Probably the strongest elite in Dragonblight, I think. Even though she's only level 72. I think she would wreck that Magnetor. And the worm. Alright, well, let's head back to Venom Spite. Well, actually, we're not going to go to Venom Spite. We're going to head over to Grizzly Hills, guys. And start our journey there. Yeah, it would have been cool if they made a raid. It could have sort of been like the first raid in Shadowlands, I think. Could have had that gothic vibe to it. I can't believe I forgot Castle Nathria. was a really good raid. I really liked like Denathrius as like a first raid boss. He was really cool. I just think it would have been a lot better than that than just like, you know, Nax Ramus round 2. Like that's like one of the reasons why I didn't start raid. Like I didn't want to really raid at the beginning of Wrath. I kind of stopped after, you know, the end of TBC and the Sunwell, because I just wasn't looking forward to doing Nax again. So I just took a break. But we'll be getting back into it pretty soon. Kind of surprised I didn't even like get into Uldar, but I don't know. Once you stop raiding, you kind of just take a. It's hard to get back into it, I guess. It's almost kind of like how when you start, it's kind of hard to stop. But here we are. We're back in Grizzly Hills. See what's going on here. Our mining is now at 420. How about that? Getting pretty close to maxing that out. And this zone's great. It's probably one of the best zones, if not the best zone in Wrath. I'd say it is the consensus #1 pick for best zone in Wrath Lich King. I think it's pretty good. I don't know if it's my favorite. I like Shalazar Basin. Storm Peak's pretty awesome too. I wouldn't say this zone's like miles. I don't know. It's just I wouldn't say it's like ahead of the other ones by too much. All right, well, let's turn in our first quest here. But it's a great zone. It has a good vibe to it.
Strength and honor.
I like the Alliance side more, to be honest. This zone. To Conquest Hold, be careful. Do not think for a second that your past accomplishments entitle you to anything, Travis. They don't. If you want my respect, you're going to have to earn it. This means following my orders without question and fulfilling them without exceptions.
For the Horde.
Who are you? Tell me why I shouldn't split you in two where you stand.
Dabu.
The Horde is magnificent. Is a magnificent war machine, and you are nothing but a cog. I am in charge of securing fuel for this machine. If I fail, the machine fails. Lumber, ore, water. It's all here and we want it, and so does the Alliance. Before we can move against the human scum, we need to solidify our control over the western region. Speak to Sergeant Nazgrim about eradicating the Vikrul in Voldrun, and then maybe, if you turn out to not be a complete failure, we'll send you to further tasks.
Be safe.
Alright. And there he is, General Nazgrim.
What do you
This is the first time I think you meet Nazgrim. Krenna must doubt my abilities, while our warriors march onto the face of the Alliance, out to face the Alliance and their trapper allies, or wreak havoc among the trolls. I've been assigned to mop up those pesky Dragonflayer Vikrul. Perhaps if we combine our efforts, we can both prove ourselves in the Conqueror's sight.
go with
So Krenna sent you to me. She must have not liked you very much. But then again, who does she like? Cracking this Vikrul outpost is going to be a tough job.
Go forth to victory.
Preparations for war are underway in the Vikrul village of Voldrun, to the southeast. Voldrun's Thane cannot field a large army, but with our forces spread thin, we are still at risk. We cannot risk giving the Thane and his men an opportunity to attack, so we must take the battle to them. If you are truly a mage of the Horde, you will relish the chance to demonstrate our strength. Cut down the Huskarls and prove to this Dragonflayer clan that the Horde is not to be trifled with.
Strength.
Alright, so let's go deal with the Vikrul.
Stronghold.
And we'll sell this junk we got. I got a lot of junk. Gotta buy a bunch of this. Oh, we can buy Honeyman tea now. I'll see you later, Pungent Way. That's good. It's really good. Means we're gonna get our mana up much faster. Get rid of these fish. I think we're gonna sell them or cook any of them. And we got a couple crates. Got a lot of A lot of stuff to open.
For the
We got a lot of
hole.
gold now, like 2,400. It's a decent amount. Alright, well, let's go south and we'll deal with these Vicruel. There's been a lot of chat recently about what Blizzard should do with the hardcore servers. Some people think that the rules that the hardcore community have made should be lightened a bit. Like allowing people to group, do dungeons multiple. It's pretty much removing all the rules and just saying that the only rule is just not to die. Because when there's a hardcore server, you know, when you die, your character will be deleted or removed from the game. So why should there be, you know, any more rules than that? Which means players will be able to trade, do dungeons multiple times, be able to use the auction house to get gear. It's a much, I would say it's an easier way to do it. It's a little less hardcore than it currently is. But I can see why people would want it to be that way. It just makes it a lot easier to manage. And then the solution to like divide these two groups is to have 2 different servers or 2 different game modes. Or maybe have like achievements you can add, you know, so people can like chase the achievements. But I agree, the rules don't have to be that strict. It's all about having fun at the end of the day. But I do appreciate the rules the hardcore community made. It does make it, you know, like a legit hardcore run. Okay, so what am I looking for here? I'm looking for macros. I'm trying to find like the yum too. I want to put this here. There we go. Now we're good to go. But I will admit, I do prefer the way the hardcore community has it. It does make it feel a lot more hardcore. Like when I leveled my rogue, I didn't group up with anybody. Like not once. Which makes it, it's kind of a lonely run. But, it felt hardcore, that's for sure. I also never used the mailbox. Didn't trade with anybody. I didn't use the auction house. And if you're able to do that, it does make it, like, much easier. Because people that get, like, BOEs can sell them. And not having to travel around to find certain pieces of loot makes it so much easier. Like, I had to go back and forth across the Eastern Kingdoms in Kalimdor just to find, like, a little upgrade for my character that would probably last, like, a couple levels. But I did it anyways because, you know, it would help my character not die. And I thought that was actually, like, a real fun part of playing hardcore, was, like, searching and trying to obtain, you know, like loot that you would otherwise just look at as like kind of crappy if you could just buy stuff on the auction house. But when you're playing hardcore, that gear's like considered pretty damn good. And you probably should get it. Because eventually you end up having like so much gold. Like once you get your mount, it's just like you have a ton of gold. And yeah, you can use that to, you know, get your epic mount, but nobody really gets that until they're like 60 at least. Or a little bit after 60. But you'll be able to just buy gear, and then making gold, you'll have so much gold if you can sell, you know, BOE items. Like, getting your mount will be so damn easy. You just sell all the BOEs that you don't need to use on the auction house for, like, you know, a gold each. You get 40 BOEs. And, you sell like 40 to, you know, 60 BOEs, and then boom, you got your mount. And some. They'll also make profession leveling a lot easier as well. It's just a much easier hardcore. It's not as hardcore. It's one thing I just don't like about it, but I think that's the type of hardcore we will get from Blizzard. And I don't mind it. It's chill. But I think they should have achievements for people who don't group or don't use the auction house until they hit 60, and stuff like that. Kind of reward the people who choose to take a more difficult path, in my opinion. I think that'd be better. Or at least reward them, you know, like, acknowledge them. Because it would be cool to chase, you know, hardcore achievements. When I transferred my rogue to a Wrath of the Lich King server, I actually got an achievement on, like, my first ever hardcore achievement in World of Warcraft. Because they actually have achievements, right, in Wrath of the Lich King. It's the first time that achievements came out, and Blizzard actually made an achievement for people who did, you know, the hardcore journey on Season of Mastery 1. And all you had to really do is just get the Soul of Iron buff, and then level your character in Classic from 1 to 60, and you keep the Soul of Iron buff on you, and never die. And then when you transfer your character to Wrath of the Lich King, you get an achievement. I forget what it's called. But it's pretty damn cool, and I was actually pretty happy when I seen it. So I hope they add achievements to these hardcore servers, even though achievements aren't really a thing in vanilla. Okay, so I have a dagger here I gotta put on, and an offhand. Where's that other offhand? Is that it? Yeah, there it is. Touch Me Nancy crafted me that bad boy. Wonder if we can use the new one. When can we use 77? One more level. And we can use this epic offhand that Touch Me Nancy crafted for us. And I would be playing hardcore right now. I know it's like the hype thing to do. And I probably should be playing a hardcore character, but I don't want to overwhelm myself with playthroughs. I would probably have to cancel this playthrough, or like put it on hold, if I wanted to, you know, do a hardcore character. And I kind of don't like doing that. I like to, like, you know, finish what I start. And I am having fun doing it. But it is tempting to play hardcore, because that's what, like, everybody's doing right now. Or they've been doing for like over a month. We'll save it. I don't want to burn myself out before the hardcore servers come out. That's when I'm gonna play 100% when the hardcore servers come out. I'm gonna be so. That's gonna. I'm gonna really damn forward to that. Not sure what class I'll play, but I'll probably try to go all the way. Like, I'll try to raid too, and just, you know, go off and just play as much as I can. It'd be amazing to, you know, clear Molten Core with a hardcore character. Or just get a character that's geared enough to do Molten Core. Would be, you know, pretty cool. That's why I kind of look at these characters. They're not like a waste of time, because, like, You know, Bloodsail Buccaneers will always be a special server for the hardcore community, but once that hardcore server comes out, no one's going to Bloodsail Buccaneers anymore, man. I don't think anybody's going back. Everyone's just gonna go on the hardcore server, and that's where you're gonna play hardcore. Unless they make it a Season of Mastery thing only, then I can see during the off season maybe the hardcore community will go back to Bloodsail. Alright, so did we get them all? Yeah, we did. Let's head back. We'll turn this quest in. But that's like probably the most hype thing that's coming out in Classic WoW. It's Icecrown Citadel. That raid's going to be awesome. And hardcore vanilla WoW. That's going to be probably the most hyped thing that's happened since Classic WoW came out, I think, in 2019. Well, for me, you know, some people don't like vanilla that much.
Strength and honor.
All right, there we go. A show of strength. You have done exactly as I asked. We've got the Dragon Flayers on the defensive, and it will soon be time to deal with their leader.
Strength.
All right. Well, guys, it looks like we're starting our journey here in Grizzly Hills at Conquest Hold. And next episode, we will get that journey on the way. But as always, thanks for watching. Keep your heads up. Later.